Mm.
Just an idea.
Part of it sort of was from the logistics of having a wire or a handle or whatever that was able to connect with a piece of glass in a nice way, without cutting into the glass and things like that, which was needed for the last one.
Yeah.
And the bottle shape with the idea of the tear in mind, it just came quite naturally as a progression because of the shape that already existed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you mean.
But is that what you feel the best captures the essence of a design?
Yes and no. I've tried to very much base these things on the comments and feedback I've gotten from other people through the blog, etc. So this has come relatively directly from the logistics of the project, and from what people have said to me in comments about this sort of thing.
Well, I guess since you're making a set anyway, and even thinking of the idea of making some jewelry out of it, maybe just different shapes and things.
Well, I'm wondering that at this point, like earlier on, I should have been a bit more varied in playing with shapes, whereas I've gone to a particular shape relatively quickly, which was possibly a negative thing.
It's not good, but I do really like the idea, the body of the bottle itself symbolizes tear. It looks like a small tear drop inside a big one. So that in a way signifies the whole emotion, whole idea. And as I say, it's made of glass, and so that something gives it clarity.
I think it still works. It just has a lot of other connotations to it that maybe actually get in the way a little bit, at least, of the original idea.
Is it possible to make the shape represent certain emotions? Because tears can come out of happiness and sadness, angriness.
Yeah, I mean, it would be very easy to be cliched with it, though. That's the trouble. I mean, a lot of my design has sort of ended up being trying to make emotions physical, and it's quite difficult, to be honest. With that, I mean, the instant thing is to that's part of why I do it. I mean, it's just the instant thing that comes are cliches. And so it's trying to get around that and deciding how subtle to be, and it's the whole thing of being accessible to people in terms of the idea and where the idea came from and how much information they need to actually get it and things like that. Like art, I suppose. How much information someone needs to actually understand what you're trying to achieve. And part of this, well, it's a balancing act basically, trying to make it accessible, but trying to keep it open to interpretation.
Feels like I'm interviewing now.
I know, I noticed that. That's cool. I mean, it's good for someone.
You should have been filmed. You should turn the camera around to you.
It's fine. It's good to make a conversation rather than a question and answer kind of situation.
Yes.
And I realised that if I do this in an MA, then I'll be more important, I think, in the situation, in terms of leading by example, discussing my own grieving history, possibly doing talks, something like that is more a literal discussion with someone, or people in general, as many people as possible, ideally. So it's good to sort of go through this process of interviewing, and like you have a certain idea of what you want to achieve, but it warps along the way. So you get clearer each time, like the fact that things often happen after the camera gets turned off, and sort of being aware of that, how to use it, and then going on from that. It has been a bit weird, the distance from it, in a way, because it's involving other people more, rather than me sitting down and having a brief and then working through to a final product. It's been quite a...
You know what I really like as well?
Mm-hmm.
It's this like sort of Matt thing holding all these small bottles.
Okay.
I think it's much better than having, like those gifts sets with a box and silk fabric in it.
Right.
This is very original, and you just have a little hole for every single little bottle here.
Like a little bottle landscape.
Yeah.
It's funny because I like it, but I haven't even thought about it as a presentation.
How amazing is that?
Yeah. They actually, to make that, they squash it in a particular way with a mould, and then to a certain thickness, and then cut straight through it, and then when it's released, you get that.
Right.
Like two pieces of it, so you get the negative and the positive.
Cool.
There you go, you learned something. But yeah, the whole egg carton kind of effect in a way.
I don't know whether it ties with the original idea of your design, but I just think.
No, I've been thinking about
cool.
the box idea and.
It also has shadows and lights. So everything kind of comes together.
I mean, even if it's not foam or whatever, but the idea of a more obvious shape and form to engulf or encompass the bottles is quite a good idea. Because I was thinking of like cork and indents into cork within a box, things like that.
Yeah.
You're right, it's a bit more original. That has been very useful.
And you look at it from a different angle, and it can. If you look at it from this angle, it's like little boats in the sea and in ocean waves. Look at it.
Indeed.
Or
It makes me think of actually kind of like a fruit bowl, or like an egg carton. But like there's some quite funky fruit bowls that are just kind of formed, and then the fruit just fit within it, however it comes natural.
That's the idea. What is it originally made for anyway?
Packaging.
Okay.
Yeah. That's interesting. I have to explore that.
Are you exploring the packaging instead of the bottle?
Well, yeah, I mean, because I was going to have a place to store them anyway, like have a series of 5 or whatever and store them. So it's something I hadn't really thought about as much.
I think if I was to purchase a setup like this, I would very much prefer a setting like this, because in a way, it looks like sort of hidden treasures into little different holes.
So the question is, how would you close it, open it, etc.?
It can be a box with a base like this, or a lid on top. Now just thinking about it, it was me having a hole like this, each of them are like little treasure caves for little treasures, and that can symbolize that all parts in your memory. Each tear bottle represents a memory, memory you have, and that can all probably hide away in your brain, in your life, and each of them have their own place, and you have to kind of search for them. Instead of all of your memory, everything kind of present to you at the same level.
Well, certainly, I kind of like the openness of that, and the possibility of their expansion as well, in terms of numbers, as opposed to having an actual wooden box or whatever that's very specific in terms of how many it can hold, etc. To sort of create that possibility of numerous emotional experiences.
Yes.
Yeah, this has been a very
interesting idea.
Educational.
For me.
That's cool. Shall we leave it there?
If you want to.